Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaura Bhakta Binda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaura Bhakta Binda. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasti Gaura Bhakta Binda.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Thursday, it is 21st of August. It is Bhadra Masa or Hrishikesha Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Trayodasi Tithi. So there is one event in the calendar. It is mentions that Paryushana is a, I know we have been going through this festival, so every year. It is actually the Jain people, they celebrate this festival, Paryushana, the day of forgiveness, asking forgiveness from everyone, from the family members, not only limited to family, everyone, knowingly or unknowingly, if they have done any kind of mistakes or something like that, it is kind of asking forgiveness. So they have got a usual term, dukkami michidam, dukkam michidam. So, sorry, michami dukkadam. So that particular word they use to ask for forgiveness. And there are two kinds of people in the Jain, so Shvetambaras and the Digambaras. So in a very fast life, they stop for a moment and to reflect themselves for a spiritual cause, asking for forgiveness, and where the people, the holy people, they will stay at one particular place for a couple of days, like in Sanatana Dharma, Chaturmasya, people who follow Chaturmasya, the sannyasis, they stop at one particular place and stay like 4 months. At the time, many people will come and take the shelter of those sannyasis and ask questions, take association, like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do that. So likewise, here also in the Jain Dharma, they also follow, there are Shvetambaras and also Digambaras. Digambaras, they who have renounced the entire material world in the sense, inclusive of clothes, they do not wear any clothes at all. They take the directions as their clothes, like Sukadeva Goswami mentioned in the second chapter. So, but the Svetambaras, so they stay in the society, but taking the white clothes, and in such a way, they progress their way, like the devotees we follow. So there are two kinds. This is the day they celebrate, and also from the Srimad Bhagavatam perspective. So Jain Dharma, it comes from the Rishabhadeva, Ashtame Meru Devyam tu Nabhedjata Urukramaha. Sorry. Rishabhadeva is son of the Meru and Nabhi, and who is the father of Bharat Maharaj. So after he renounced this entire kingdom, after he handed over the kingdom to Bharat Maharaj, so he renounced, and like without any clothes, so he was wandering. So, but he has a he's a supreme personality of Godhead, but because of his activities, some of the king who is in the Konka Venka Kotaka. So he has observed the activities of Rishabhadeva. He has imitated, and he has established the king of that name is Arhat. So he has established a new dharma, but which is Sukadeva Goswami mentions that it is not according to the Vedic injunctions. The worshipping of the Lord, devotional service, they do not follow. It is just a simply another form of the atheism. But they do follow like the ahimsa paramo dharma, and also follow all kinds of most of the principles of the devotional service, but they do not take to the worship of the Lord. So that is kind of a atheism. So likewise, Sukadeva Goswami mentioned in the Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 9. So there he mentions, but actually today is the festival, but in the spiritual perspective, so if we just keep that one aside, but everyone celebrate and also feed the family and friends and with nice palatable dishes, and they do not use onion, garlic, and anything which is hurting the roots of the plants. They do not take any food, such kind of things as well. they will follow the pure processes. Okay, so that is the heart of Paryushana is the forgiveness. So, of course, on this spirit, it is not just only for few days. It will last for around 7 days, or sometimes it is 10 days. It is not the days, but it can continue forever. So it is a day. It is the habit of the devotees or the nature of the devotees. In Krishna consciousness, we follow that one every day, all the time with all the living entities. Forgiveness. Okay, so that is part of the events perspective. So, Michami Dukkadam to everyone. Hare Krishna. Okay, so that is from the events perspective. So we shall move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maitreya Rishi describing the creation of the universe. So, yesterday he was mentioning that Supreme Personality of Godhead, his energy, it acts in the internally and also externally. And whatever is externally manifested, which is Prakriti, which we can see, Vyaktam, that is called Maya, which can be perceived by the senses, it is called Maya. By that, by Maya, all this material nature is manifested. So likewise, he was mentioning. And then, so by he also inject all the living entities into this material nature in due course of time. And also by the Purusha is the one of the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like we see the Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami, and one of the expansion is Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu again, he expands himself into Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, further Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, like that. So Mahavishnu, he himself is the expansion of the Lord. Okay, likewise, Maitreya Rishi is describing about the creation. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 5, and verse number 26. Kalavritya tu mayayam gunamayam adokshajaham purushena atma bhutena viryamadatta viryavan. Kalavritya tu mayayam. Kala is the eternal time. Vritya by influence of the eternal time. Kalavritya tu mayayam in the external energy. Gunamayam adokshajaham. Gunamayam, in the qualitative modes of nature. Adokshajaha, the transcendence. Purushena Atma Bhutena, by the Purusha incarnation, Atma Bhutena, who is the plenary expansion of the Lord, Atma Bhutena. Purushena Atma Bhutena, Viryam Adatta Viryavan, and he injects Viryam, the seeds of the living entities. Adatta, he impregnates the material nature. Viryamadatta, Viryavan is the supreme living being who injects the living entities into the material nature. So, what it means? Okay. Kalavrityatmayayam gunamayam adokshjaha purushena atmabhutena viryamadatta viryavan. Translation for this shloka. The supreme living being in his feature as the transcendental Purusha incarnation, who is the Lord's plenary expansion, impregnates the material nature of three modes, and thus, by the influence of eternal time, the living entities appear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, can you request Meena Mataji to read the purport, please?
Yes, Hare Krishna. The offspring of any living being is born After the father impregnates the mother with semen, and the living entity floating in the semen of the father take the shape of the from mother's form. Similarly, material nature cannot produce any living entity from her material elements unless and until she is impregnated with living entity by the Lord Himself. That is the mystery of the generation of the living entities. The impregnating process is performed by the first Purusha incarnation, Karnodaksha Vishnu. Simply by his glance over material nature, the whole matter is accomplished. We should not understand the process of pregnation by the personality of Godhead in terms of our concepts of the sex. The omnipotent Lord can impregnate just by his eyes, and therefore he is called all potent. Each and every part of his transcendental body can perform each and every function of the other parts. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita 5.32. Anagani Yasha Sankalandriya Vritimanti. In Bhagavad Gita 14.3, also the same principle is confirmed. Mamayani Mahad Brahma Tasmini Garbham Dutyaham Dadayam Aham. Where the cosmic creation is manifested, the living entity are directly supplied from the Lord. They are never product of material nature. Thus, no scientific advancement of material science can ever produce a living being. That is the whole mystery of the material creation. The living entity are forging to matter, and thus they cannot be happy unless they are situated in the same spiritual life as the Lord. The mistaken living being out of forgetfulness of this original condition of life, unless unnecessarily wasted time trying to become happy in the material world. The whole Vedic process is to remind one of these essential features of life. The Lord offered the conditional soul a material body for his so-called enjoyment, but if one does not come to his sense and enter into spiritual consciousness, the Lord again puts him in the unmanifested condition as it existed in the beginning of the creation. The Lord is described here as Viryavana or the greatest potent being because he impregnated material nature with innumerable entities who are conditional from time immemorial. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is giving how the Lord impregnates this material nature. So like we have got this experience, like a man impregnates the woman and his wife, then children born. So offspring of any living being is born after the father impregnates the mother with semen, and the living entity floating in the semen of the father takes the shape in the womb of mother. So similarly, the mother material nature cannot produce any living entity from her material elements unless and until she is impregnated with the living entities by the Lord Himself. So unless a woman is married to man, she cannot produce any children. So it is natural like that. So before it is pradhana, later on prakriti. Prakriti is the manifested nature. When the Lord come into then only it is the complete fullness for a woman. When the woman is married to a man, then only there is and produce children, there is a completeness. Otherwise, in the society, if the woman does not produce any children, and people does not look at her face as well when the going in a state, if someone is going on an auspicious occasion, if such kind of woman is coming in the opposite way, and they will go back home. So likewise, there are many other things. It is kind of a religious or traditional things. So, but that is the nature. So that is the here the Lord first of all impregnates the material nature. That is the mystery of the generation of the living entities. The impregnating process is performed by the first Purusha incarnation. This is Karanarnava Sai Vishnu. Vishnu, who lies in the Karana ocean or causal waters, he is called Karanarnava Sai Vishnu. Simply by his glance over the material nature, the whole matter is accomplished. So this is, he glances on the Rama Devi, Ramyatma Sekcha. And then, so Durga Devi, so Durga Devi is the shadow energy of the Rama Devi, the internal potency of the Lord. Of course, in the spiritual world, it is called Mula Prakriti. And here in this material world, it is called Maya, internal potency and external potency. The same. It is the same personality acts in two different uh, capacities, one in the spiritual world, one in the material world. So we should not understand the process of impregnation by the personality of Godhead in terms of our conception of sex. So the omnipotent Lord can impregnate just by his eyes, and therefore he is called all potent. And also the Lord, he mentions, okay, so proper here it is giving a detailed description. Each and every part of his transcendental body can perform each and every function of the other parts. Angani yasya sakalendri vrittimanti pastinti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmaya sudujjvala vigrahasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Every day we sing this hymn in the morning. Whenever in the darshan time of the Lord, when the curtains are open at the time, we sing this hymn as well. So every part of his body works, every function. And Bhagavad Gita also, it is Mama Yonir Mahad Brahma Tasmin Garbham Dadamyaham Sambhavaha Sarvabhutanam Tato Bhavati Bharata. Tato Bhavati Bharata. The total material substance called the Brahman is the source of the birth. And it is that Brahman, that Krishna impregnate, making possible the birth of all beings. So he mentions to Arjuna, O Tato Bhavati Bharata, like that. And then Sarvayonishu Kaunteya Murtayah Sambhavantiyaha Tasam Brahma Mahadjonir Aham Bija Pradahpita. The sequence, the next shloka of this one, 14th chapter and 4th verse, the Lord again, he mentions that Sarvayonishu Kaunteya, in all the womb of all the living entities, Sarvayonishu, in all species, Murtayah Sambhavantiyaha, and they all appear Tasam Brahma Mahadjonir. Tasam Brahma. On all of them, Brahma is the supreme Mahadjoni, the source of birth in the material substance. Aham Bija Pradahpita. I am the father of all these living entities. So likewise, I am the seed-giving father. Pita Hamasya Jagato Mata Dhata Pita Mahaha Vejjam Pavitra Omkaraha Ruksama Yujrevacha. So Gatir Bhatta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Suhurum Sarat Suhurum. Likewise, Lord mentions he is everything. So he is the seed giving. So what is meant to say here? He is the seed giving father. So here this is Viryam Adatta Viryavan. In this particular shloka, it is described Viryam Adatta Viryaman. The same statement Krishna mentions to Arjuna in the 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 3rd and 4th shlokas. And also in the 9th chapter also he describes Pitahamasya Jagato Mata Data Pitamaha, like that. And when the cosmic creation is manifested, the living entities are directly supplied from the Lord. They are never products of material nature. So this is the one of the conception nowadays. The scientists, they're trying to manufacture, they are trying to develop the test tube babies in the labs like that. But first of all, for that they collect the seeds from the father and collect the eggs from the mother. So, but without those, they cannot do anything at all. But the original seeds directly coming from the Lord. So, living entities are directly supplied from the Lord. They are never products of the material nature. Thus, no scientific advancement of material science can ever produce a living being. So, that is the whole mystery of the material creation. Living entities are foreign to the matter, and thus they cannot be happy unless they are situated in the spiritual life as the Lord. This it is like it is Pratibuddhavastuhu. Pratibuddhavastuhu means attaining the original form, attaining the substance. So once, but here we are living entities come here. Apare mitisvanyam Viddhime Prakritim Param. We are all Prakritim Param. We are not belong to this material world. Prakritim Param. We belong to the spiritual world. Jiva Bhota Mahabaho Yedham Dharite Jagat. But those living entities come to this material world, taking the material bodies and then try to experience pains and pleasures. So this is Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yedham Dharite Jagat. They come here as a foreigner. But they are not the matter. So if they have gone back to the Godhead, again to their original position, they will be happy. At the moment here, material nature, it is always hitting them and put them into different kinds of problems. It is a prison. So once he comes to the jail and he thinks that he should go back home, then only he will be happy. That is his real position. If he is staying in the prison, Durga means it is the fort. Fort means so it is very difficult to go out of the fort unless the superintendent of the fort he opens the door. We cannot escape. Likewise, this material world is a big prison. And the mistaken living being out of the forgetfulness of this original condition of life unnecessarily wastes time trying to become happy in the material world. So it is just like if a prisoner, if he wanted to make a nice home, a nice place in the prison itself, nice comfortable way, the way habituated, then he doesn't want to go out of the prison also. That is a natural tendency. If he is used for the friends with all those things and then day-to-day activities within the prison, then if he's habituated there, then he thinks that there is no other world. I'm happy here in the prison itself. In such a way he thinks and unnecessarily waste time trying to become happy in the prison. The whole Vedic process is to remind one of this eternal feature of life. The Lord offers the conditioned soul a material body for his so-called enjoyment, but if one does not come to his senses and enter into the spiritual consciousness, the Lord again puts him in the unmanifested condition as it is existed in the beginning of the creation. Again, these living entities, they go dormant into the body of the Garbhodaksaya Vishnu. It is the Avyaktam. And they don't come into the existence. But if it is spiritual living beings, the living entities, Kaivalyamiva Murtimat. In the spiritual world, all these living entities, they have got their spiritual bodies and enjoying with the Lord and participating. Ye nimitte nimittena dharmen aradayan harim. That is how they spend life with a happy life. For that purpose, again the Lord gives, even though the living entity misusing the body, human body, number of times, Lord keep on giving the bodies. If he is not qualified for a human body, he will give a dog body. If he is not even qualified for a dog, then another lower kind of things, like that. But he patiently wait for the living entity. So the Lord is described here as Viryavan, or the greatest potent being, because he impregnates material nature with innumerable living entities who are conditioned from time immemorial. From time immemorial. So Prabhupada, a number of times he says, Yena tena prakarena. So somewhere or other, bring the conditioned souls to the lotus feet of Krishna. Somewhere or other, to remind their constitutional position that they are the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like a child who is lost in somewhere, like an orphan, and if he knows that his father is a king, there is no bounds for his happiness, and then going back to his father, and he can enjoy all kinds of opulences. Otherwise, he will fall in the street. So likewise, the living entities, they belong to the Supreme Father. But now they are in the condition, for so long they have forgotten the Supreme Personality of God and rotting in this material world. Okay, so that means forgetting the Lord is called conditioning. So that's why we always ask the Supreme, pray to the Lord that we remember Ante Narayana Smriti. Narayana Smriti, it must be all the time, not only at the last moment, all the time. So that is the Janmalabha Parah Pumsam, ultimate aim and benefit of the human life is the Ante Narayana Smriti. That Narayana Smriti, all the time one should be having that. Haro Vavre Ajalitam Smritim Yaya. So this Dhruv Maharaj also, when he was asked by Kuvera, what kind of benedictions can I give you? Then Dhruv Maharaj asks that one. Saraj Savaray Choito, whenever he is inspired by the Kuvera, he is asking Mahabhagavata Mahamati Dhruva Mahabhagavata Mahamatihi. He asked that one. What is that one? Haru Vavre Atilitam Smritim Yaya. I wanted to uh, remember the Lord in all time and circumstances. Achalitam, without any deviation. Tarati ayatnena dhrutyem tamaha. By remembering the Lord, one can cross this material science very easily. Tarati ayatnena, without much endeavor, one can cross dhrutyem tamaha, which is very difficult to cross. He can cross without much endeavor, just by remembering the Lord. That is free from the conditioning. Okay, like that is from the Srila Prabhupada's purport. So here, Maitreya Rishi is speaking how the living entities enter into this Prakriti. And the Lord impregnates all the living entities. When we see in the Goloka picture, there from Mahavishnu, body of Mahavishnu, there are so many living entities coming out of his body. Actually, they are the universes. These universes means the golden eggs, they're all kind of a spiritual entities. When they have merged with the Mahatattva, and it will turn into the eggs, Brahmandas, like that. Okay, Kalurchaturmayayam Gunamayam Adokyajaha Purushena Atmabhutena Viryamadatta Viryavan. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Satsvarupa, November 4th, 1970, Bombay. Yes, can I request Swarup Prabhuji to read this letter?
Dear Prabhu, Hare Krishna. My dear
Satasvarupa, please accept my blessings. I have received your letter of 23rd September 1970, along with the note from your good wife, and I've read them with attention. The sentiments which you have expressed are very much encouraging to me, that I have caught such disciples as yourself who are more anxious to serve me than my own children. You are one of my oldest and best qualified students. So now you may, along with the other men of GBC, take over from me management of ISKCON affairs and work combinedly to open as many centers as possible all over the world. If you simply carry out the instructions which I have given you, Krishna will reward you with all success. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra will be heard in every nook and cranny of this globe. He is God, so there is no doubt about it. So, if we are intelligent, we will take advantage of this opportunity and get the credit. If we do not, someone else will. So far, your management of Southern USA centers as Zonal Secretary, I have instructed Brahmananda Maharaja, Gargamuni Maharaja, and Vishnujana Maharaja to open one center in Coconut Grove near Miami, Florida. Now you must open correspondence with them in this regard and encourage them. Your plan to increase your plan to increase our propaganda activities in the colleges and high schools is very nice. And it is my desire that every American boy and girl will receive a Krishna conscious education through our books. You have a very great responsibility to print and distribute these books. So far, printing is concerned, if you are able to print books, why not do it? I am prepared to give up dealing with Nippon if ISKCON Press can print my books. What is being done with the manuscript of of the unabridged Bhagavad Gita as it is? It should be printed as soon as possible. My European disciples have written that there are no books available in Europe. I want that each and every one of my centers should be fully stocked with all my books, never mind if they can pay or not. The principle is that every center must pay for whatever books they order. But if for some financial difficulty a center is not able to pay for books, still we should supply them whatever they need. You will be pleased to know that I am resuming my translating work here in the peaceful surroundings of a Sitaram temple in the suburbs of Bombay. Hope this finds you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Let me take your points, Prabhuji, from this letter.
Yes, Prabhu. Um, I think Srila Prabhupada is very happy with the disciple, and he thinks that he's one of the best qualified students that he has, and he's also asking him to take over the management of the ISKCON affairs and to work to open as many centers as possible. I think this we have seen in other letters also. He's always encouraging his disciples to open as many centers as possible. Also, he has referred to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and has said that the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra needs to be heard in every nook and cranny of the world, of the globe, referring him as God, and there is no doubt. And he's saying that uh, the intelligent people will take advantage of this opportunity. Otherwise, someone else will. Also, he has referred to. He has mentioned to him that. Uh, as a zonal secretary in the Southern USA centers, also to work with some of the other Maharajas, and to open a center in Coconut Grove in Miami, near Miami, Florida. And he has encouraged him to correspond with them on that. Um, Also, he has really appreciated his plan to increase the propaganda activities in the colleges and schools in America, and he's been very pleased that and it is his desire that the young boys and girls there receive Krishna conscious education. Also, he has discussed about the responsibility to print and distribute books. Um, he's saying that that I could not make out here exactly what he means, but he's saying that that if he can able to print books, so I think he's maybe the Prabhu has got a facility to print books. So he's saying that if you have got the facility, then why don't you do it? And maybe he was doing it through the Dai Nippon. He was doing the publishing and the printing of the books through the Dai Nippon, and he's saying that if he has the facility, maybe then he can move this facility. He can take over this responsibility of printing books. Also, he has said that that his books should be there in all the centers. The centers are responsible to pay for the books, but if the centers are unable for financial difficulty or whatever reason, but then still they should be supplied with the books as much as possible. Also, he has said that he's in Sitaram temple in the suburbs of Bombay, and there he is resuming his work of translating books in a very nice, peaceful surrounding. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Okay, so and one point here, so distribution of the books is very important. Then we receive the money from the receiver. So having books distributed, so that is proper is mentioning. But if for some difficulty, if a center is not able to pay for books, still we should supply them whatever they need. Okay, so that is sometimes devotees they contribute towards the books so that the books can be distributed to some other devotees. So that happens. Okay, so that is my takeaway from this letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today is Thursday. Today evening we have got Krishna book. So Sham Prabhuji is away from UK. He has gone to India. I think one of our devotees would do the Krishna Katha today at 8 p.m. Okay, so that is from the event's perspective. And the devotees, if you have got any updates or you wanted to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. Jai Mataji, if you are available to say anything about anything, kindly share. If you are not available, that's all right.
Sorry, Prabhuji, did you call my name?
Yes, Mataji, you wanted to share anything?
No, thank you so much. I had actually sent you a message. I'm listening in the background today.
Yes.
But Prabhuji covered everything very nicely, and there's no other anything from me to say today. No, thank you. Thank you for giving me opportunity to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
I was just going to say the you covered the Jainism this morning, so that my mom is Jain, though in my husband's side we follow Vaishnav, but I totally resonated with everything you said as well from the other side, from my mom's side. So thank you.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. So yeah, just to reflect onto that side, Parishana, so just I asked you to say anything. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. Okay, any other updates, dear devotees? Okay, so if there are no further updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further japa.
Vanchakalpatarubhishya Kripasindara Evascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha
नमः
Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki
गोविंद की
Jai
जय
Shri Veda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Gaunande Hari Hari Bol.
Glory
Thank you. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare